Hello and welcome back. I don't think I have been this excited for a release ever before. Of course, this one is all in the spirit of the new and absolutely improved SAS Studio, but don't worry, there's even more stuff on top of that to check out. So let's get right into it. This time we are starting somewhere we've never been before, and that's the login page, because I just want to show off the awesome new design work that has been done to make the UI cleaner and easier to use than ever before. With the login process done, you will see the design updates throughout this whole demo, but keep your eye out for it. And also, of course, you will find this in the other themes as well, not just in the light theme. So here we are in the new and highly improved SAS Studio release. This has me absolutely buzzing with excitement. But there is so many features in here that I can't possibly cover them all. So I just thought, why not share my 3 favorite updates of this release, and then I encourage you to dig into them all on your own time. So we are starting things off with the steps. You might know that previously you could only use the SAS provided steps inside of flows. Well, this is now changing. Let's take, for example, a machine learning step, and let's say you don't want it as part of your flow. You just want to standalone iterate on something. Well, now you can just right click, select open, and boom, you get your step interface right here in a tab, and you can do all the things like interacting with the UI, submitting the code, getting the log, the generated code, and all of that fun stuff. This is so cool to me. The next 2 pieces are actually both inside of the library pane, where the first thing is the ability to search up top. Let's say SAS help, colon, then we can specify our table name, cars, and our search is updated. I immediately find my table within that library. That is so helpful if you have a giant mess of tables within a library or even hundreds of libraries to filter through. So really speeding up the time to finding the right item. And of course, you can do this further. If now your dataset has hundreds of columns, you can also go in and search for that one specific column, check that it's actually within that table, and just add another column name. Super cool. And the final piece that I want to look at is when we double click a table and open it up. Previously, we had pagination within our tables. Now we can scroll and scroll and scroll, and SAS Studio will just keep displaying more and more rows for us to look at. And we are not done here. You can also now go into Enter Expression and write them yourself as before, or click the little icon to get into a visual mode to build your filter right in a no-code environment. So super helpful to really speed up your work inside of SAS Studio, sit within your data like never before, and really help us drive that value. Now, as I promised, there is even more fun stuff to check out with this release. So let's first go to SAS Visual Analytics, where we will take a look at a new feature or an improved feature that we can now make use of. For that, I'm going to open up a ready-built report, and now you can also find all the about information of your report through the menu up on the right about this report, where you can now also see the summary if your report has attached one, and also find easily the location when it was created or updated, right? That makes it so much easier to communicate these updates throughout your organization as you see fit. And also, if you've expanded the graph options that we took a look at last times and are playing with that preview feature, go back and look deeper, because there's now even more objects now enabled with this feature to help you expand even further and making your UI and reports look as perfect as they can be. Let's round things out with intelligent decisioning. where we have a helpful feature that I have been waiting for patiently. So let's take a look what it can do and how it has already saved me a bunch of headache. When you are inside of your decision, you have a node inside of your decision that makes use of a bunch of variables. You can now go to the context menu of it and say compare node variables. This brings up this little UI that tells you which variables are named what in the node and in the decision and are being used in which capacity. Now, that is so helpful to get a quick overview of what's going on within the decision, especially as different components are being built by different departments. And then when you find irregularities or other issues within that, you can quickly go to the variables tab where you can then go and adjust those variables as you see fit. Super helpful, and that has already saved me a bunch of headaches because of typos and then duplicating variables and them not being mapped correctly and all of these types of things that just happens when you don't work as closely with your colleagues as you might should, and that's where the software now helps you. With these updates, let's go and take a look at what the SAS community has built and written about in this past month. First up is configuring XLSX ODBC data sources at remote data agents, meaning how you can access your Excel files that are not on the same server as SAS Viya, but maybe on-prem while SAS Viya is running in the cloud. Super helpful feature for a lot of organizations. Next up is an advanced feature inside of intelligent decisioning showing you how you can make use of the checkout and commit feature to automate the communication between different departments, who is working on what, and to communicate also what you changed or developed while you were working on it. And then finally, a massive shout out here on SAS Agentic AI deploy and score models, the big picture, which is only a part of this series. And this also dives deeper into a whole bunch of stuff on how you can register, deploy large language models, and then use them to build agents with SAS Viya. Super cool blog post and attached course that you can really dive into the details. I encourage you to check this one out. The last part is a small reminder that watchers of this series for a long time might have forgotten in the meantime. It's always the first link down in the description, and that's this unofficial SAS What's New application and website that you can use to check out all the updates that we always talk about here in even more detail. This contains at this point thousands of features, and you can just dig in, go into a range of features that you're interested in, dig only into the category or product that you're interested in, and then when you have identified what you find interesting, you can just download it as a file and move on in your own environment, share it internally, however you please. You can also double click on any item and go to a documentation or example link that takes you to even more detail in the actual SAS documentation. This is it for this month's edition. Please go ahead and check out all the amazing new features inside of SAS Studio. It's such an amazing update. It's incredible work that the team has done here, and it's so much more fun to build ETL and analytics projects inside of SAS like never before. See you next month. Bye bye.